It's 2 a.m. You are exhausted, but staring at the ceiling. You might blame that afternoon coffee or a stressful day, but very often, the real culprit is on your dinner plate. Research suggests that for nearly 30% of seniors, specific evening foods can directly block deep sleep cycles. I'm Rachel Turner, RDN, and welcome to Senior Food 365. Today, we're identifying 7 dinner foods that steal your rest and simple swaps to help you sleep soundly. I've uploaded a free evening nutrition guide to the Senior Health Guide app. Link is below. Before we start, when you can't sleep, what's the first thing you blame? Noise, temperature, or a late snack? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's fix your night with food number 7. 7. Spicy foods and peppers. We often hear that spices are wonderful for metabolism and inflammation, and that is certainly true. Capsaicin, the compound that gives chili peppers their heat, has many benefits. However, when we consume spicy foods like curries, hot salsas, or dishes heavy in cayenne pepper during dinner, we create a challenging environment for sleep. The first reason is temperature. To fall into a deep sleep, your core body temperature actually needs to drop slightly. It is a signal to your brain that it is time to rest. Spicy foods do the opposite. They are thermogenic, meaning they raise your body temperature. When you eat a spicy meal, you might feel that slight flush or warmth. While that feels nice on a cold day, at 9 p.m. it acts like a signal confusion for your body. Your internal thermostat is trying to dial down, but the food is dialing it up. The second reason is specifically important for us as we age. As we get older, the muscle at the bottom of our esophagus, which acts like a trap door to keep stomach acid down, can become a little more relaxed. Spicy foods can irritate the stomach lining and cause that trap door to stay open slightly. When you lay down flat in bed 2 hours later, gravity is no longer helping you keep everything down. This can lead to silent reflux. You might not even feel a burning sensation, but it can cause micro-awakenings that pull you out of deep sleep without you realizing it. I remember speaking with a woman named Martha a few months ago. She loved making a spicy vegetable stir-fry for dinner because it was easy and healthy. She told me she slept fine, but always woke up tired. We suggested she move that spicy meal to lunch instead. Within a week, she reported that she wasn't waking up as often to drink water, and she felt much more refreshed in the morning. It was just a matter of timing. A common mistake is thinking that if you don't feel heartburn immediately, the food is safe. Remember, the effect on your body temperature and digestion can happen quietly. Here are some practical steps you can take. If you love spicy food, try to eat it at lunch. For dinner, focus on milder flavors. Herbs like basil, oregano, and thyme add wonderful flavor without raising your body temperature or irritating the stomach. If you do have a spicy dinner, try to stay upright for at least 3 hours before lying down to let gravity help with digestion. 6. Water-rich fruits and vegetables. This point often surprises people because we are always told to eat more fruits and vegetables. And yes, things like watermelon, celery, cucumbers, and citrus fruits are incredibly healthy. They are packed with vitamins and hydration. However, that hydration is exactly why they can be tricky at dinner time for those of us over 60. As we age, our bodies produce less of a specific hormone that helps concentrate urine while we sleep. This means our kidneys continue to produce urine at a higher rate during the night than they did when we were younger. This condition, often called nocturia, causes us to wake up multiple times to use the bathroom. When you eat foods with very high water content, like a big bowl of watermelon or a salad loaded with celery and cucumbers, right before bed, you are essentially drinking a large glass of water, just in solid form. Watermelon and celery act as natural diuretics. They encourage your body to flush out fluids. While this is excellent for managing blood pressure during the day, at night, it guarantees that your sleep cycle will be interrupted. Every time you wake up to use the restroom, your heart rate rises, your blood pressure adjusts to standing up, and you have to navigate back to sleep. It disrupts the REM cycle, which is the restorative sleep that helps with memory and mood. The mistake here isn't the food itself, it's the volume and the timing. You don't need to stop eating these wonderful foods, but we need to be strategic. For practical steps, try to consume your water-rich produce earlier in the day. Have that melon with breakfast or that cucumber salad at lunch. For dinner, look for cooked vegetables or produce with lower water content. Roasted root vegetables like carrots or sweet potatoes are excellent choices. They are comforting, easy to digest, and won't overload your bladder right before you try to rest. A little secret tip: if you do have a salad at dinner, try adding a healthy fat like a few slices of avocado or a drizzle of olive oil. The fat slows down the absorption slightly, which can help regulate how quickly that fluid hits your system, although reducing the volume is still the best strategy. 5. Aged cheeses and cured meats. There is something very elegant and simple about a dinner of charcuterie, cured meats, and nice aged cheeses. It feels light and requires no cooking, which is appealing if you are tired. However, these foods contain a compound called tyramine. To understand why this matters, we have to look at how the brain switches between alert and asleep. Tyramine is an amino acid that stimulates the release of norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is a brain stimulant. It's the chemical that helps you feel alert, awake, and ready to take action. Essentially, eating a lot of aged cheese or cured meats like salami or pepperoni is like turning the ignition key in your car just as you are trying to park it for the night. The aging process in food is what creates this compound. The longer a food is aged or fermented, the higher the tyramine levels. This includes sharp cheddars, Parmesan, blue cheese, and cured meats. For many seniors, our sensitivity to dietary stimulants increases with age. You might have been able to eat a pepperoni pizza at midnight in your 30s and sleep like a log. But now, that same chemical trigger keeps your mind racing. You might feel physically tired, but your brain feels wired. You lie there thinking about your grocery list or worrying about a leaky faucet, unable to drift off. A common mistake is assuming that because cheese is dairy, it helps you sleep. We often hear about warm milk being good for sleep because of tryptophan, which is true. But aged cheese is chemically very different from fresh milk. The aging changes the profile completely. So, what are the practical steps? If you want cheese with dinner, opt for fresh cheeses. Mozzarella, ricotta, or cottage cheese are much lower in tyramine and are less likely to stimulate that alert signal in your brain. Avoid the heavy charcuterie boards in the evening. Save the sharp cheddar for a lunchtime snack with an apple. This way, that boost of alertness helps you through your afternoon rather than keeping you up at night. 4. Dark chocolate. I know this one might be disappointing. Many of us treat ourselves to a square or two of dark chocolate after dinner. We do it because we know dark chocolate is rich in antioxidants and can be good for heart health. It feels like a healthy indulgence. However, dark chocolate is a sneaky source of stimulants. It contains caffeine, and while it has less caffeine than a cup of coffee, it also contains another compound called theobromine. Theobromine acts similarly to caffeine. It increases heart rate and sleeplessness in sensitive individuals. As we get older, our metabolism slows down. This includes how fast we metabolize caffeine and related compounds. It takes our liver much longer to clear these stimulants from our system than it did when we were 40. A small amount of caffeine at 7 p.m. might still be active in your system at 11 p.m. I had a client named Robert who was struggling with what he called jittery legs at night. He described a feeling of restlessness that kept him from getting comfortable. When we reviewed his food diary, we saw he was having 2 squares of 85% dark chocolate every night at 8 p.m. while watching TV. I asked him to switch that treat to 1 p.m. after lunch. The restlessness subsided significantly. He was simply sensitive to the theobromine, and his body couldn't clear it before bed. The mistake here is thinking that because the portion is small, the effect is negligible. But if you are already on the edge of sleep issues, even a small push can keep you awake. For practical steps, check the percentage of your chocolate. The darker the chocolate, the higher the caffeine and theobromine. White chocolate contains none, though it is higher in sugar. If you need a sweet treat after dinner, consider a small amount of fruit, like a handful of cherries. Tart cherries are actually a natural source of melatonin, the sleep hormone, making them a much better choice than chocolate for your evening routine. Quick pause here. Many people tell me they forget the details by the time they see their doctor. If you want an easy way to track symptoms, blood pressure, and the small changes you're trying from this video, we made a simple tool called the Senior Health Guide. Pause and scan the QR code on screen, or use the link in the description. It's just there to help you stay organized and share clearer notes with your doctor. 3. Heavy, fatty steaks or fried foods. A big steak dinner or a plate of fried chicken is often seen as a celebratory meal or a comfort food. But these high-fat, protein-dense meals are incredibly demanding on your digestive system. Digestion is hard work. It requires energy and a significant amount of blood flow. When you eat a heavy, fatty meal, your body has to divert resources to the stomach and intestines to break down those complex fats and proteins. This process keeps your metabolic rate higher for several hours. Ideally, when you sleep, your body systems should be in a state of rest and repair. Your heart rate should slow, and your digestion should be minimal. But if you have just eaten a 12-ounce ribeye or fried fish, your digestive system is working overtime. It is like asking a factory to run at full capacity when the workers are trying to go home. This heavy digestion can make you feel physically hot or uncomfortable. It can also lead to indigestion or a feeling of heaviness that makes it difficult to find a comfortable position. Furthermore, high-fat meals relax that esophageal sphincter we talked about earlier, increasing the risk of reflux. A common mistake is eating these heavy meals too late in the evening. If you eat a heavy dinner at 7:30 p.m. and go to bed at 9:30 p.m., your body is right in the middle of the most difficult part of digestion. Practical steps for this are all about portion and timing. If you are going to have a steak or a heavier meal, try to make it your lunch, the main meal of the day. Europeans have done this for centuries, and it makes a lot of physiological sense. If you do have meat for dinner, choose leaner cuts like chicken breast, turkey, or white fish. These break down much faster than red meat or fried foods. And try to keep the portion size modest, about the size of a deck of cards. This gives your body the nutrients it needs without the heavy workload. If videos like this help you, you can hit subscribe so you don't miss future senior health tips here on this channel. 2. Tomato-based sauces and pizza. This brings us to a very common dinner staple, pasta with marinara sauce or pizza. Tomatoes are fantastic for you. They are full of lycopene, which is great for heart and prostate health. However, tomatoes are also highly acidic. For many people over 60, the lining of the stomach becomes more sensitive. Highly acidic foods can trigger heartburn and acid reflux almost immediately. But the problem with tomato sauce at dinner goes beyond just the acidity. It is often paired with heavy carbohydrates, pasta or crust, and cheese. This combination creates a perfect storm for sleep disruption. The acidity irritates the stomach, the fat from the cheese slows down digestion, and the carbohydrates can cause a spike and then a crash in blood sugar. When you lay down with this acidic mixture in your stomach, it can easily travel back up the esophagus. Even if you don't feel the burning of heartburn, the acid can irritate the airways, leading to coughing or a rough throat that wakes you up. I knew a lovely lady named Linda who would cough incessantly at night. She thought it was allergies or dry air. She bought humidifiers and air purifiers, but nothing worked. It turned out she was having pasta with tomato sauce almost every night because it was easy to cook for one. Once she switched to olive oil and garlic sauces instead of tomato-based ones for dinner, the nightly coughing stopped. It was silent reflux caused by the acidity. The common mistake is thinking that healthy means good for sleep. Tomato sauce is healthy, but it is aggressive. For practical steps, try to limit tomato-based sauces to lunch. For dinner, explore sauces that are gentler on the stomach. Pesto, olive oil with herbs, or a light butternut squash sauce are delicious alternatives that are much less acidic. If you simply must have that slice of pizza, try to eat it at least 4 hours before bed, and maybe take a short walk afterwards to help gravity move things along before you lie down. 1. Alcohol and the nightcap myth. We have arrived at number 1, and this is perhaps the most misunderstood food group when it comes to sleep: alcohol. Many people believe that a glass of wine or a nightcap before bed helps them sleep, and in the short term, it might feel true. Alcohol is a sedative. It depresses the central nervous system, which can help you fall asleep faster. However, the quality of sleep you get after drinking alcohol is very poor. This is because of how your body metabolizes alcohol. As the alcohol wears off during the night, your body experiences a rebound effect. Your sympathetic nervous system, the stress system, wakes up. This often happens in the second half of the night, usually around 2 or 3 a.m. This rebound causes fragmented sleep. You might not wake up fully, but your brain is pulled out of the deep, restorative REM sleep that you need to feel refreshed. You toss and turn. You might sweat. You might have vivid or stressful dreams. Even if you sleep for 8 hours, you wake up feeling groggy and unrefreshed because you missed out on the deep maintenance cycles your brain needs. Additionally, alcohol is a potent muscle relaxant. Remember that throat muscle we talked about? Alcohol relaxes the muscles in your throat, which can significantly worsen snoring and sleep apnea. If you already have mild sleep apnea, a glass of wine before bed can make it severe, cutting off your oxygen supply more frequently and stressing your heart. The mistake is confusing sedation with sleep. Being knocked out is not the same as resting. Practical steps? If you enjoy a glass of wine, try to have it with dinner, or even better, with an appetizer before dinner. The goal is to give your body about 3 hours to metabolize the alcohol before your head hits the pillow. Hydrate with a glass of water for every glass of alcohol to help flush it out. But the best strategy for deep sleep is to switch to a calming herbal tea in the evening. Chamomile, ginger, or peppermint tea can signal to your body that it is time to wind down without the rebound effect of alcohol. To summarize what we have covered today, first, be mindful of temperature and acidity. Spicy foods and tomato sauces can cause heat and reflux that disturb you even if you don't feel pain. Second, Watch out for hidden stimulants. Aged cheeses and dark chocolate contain compounds that can keep an older brain alert when it wants to rest. And third, timing is everything. Whether it is water-rich fruit, heavy meats, or alcohol, having these items earlier in the day allows your body to process them before you lie down. Even small daily steps can help you feel steadier, safer, and more confident as you go through your day. I would love to hear from you. Which of these food swaps do you think would be the easiest for you to try this week? Let me know in the comments. This video is for education only and is not personal medical advice. Always talk to your own doctor about your situation. Thank you for watching Senior Food 365, and I wish you a peaceful night's rest.